Welcome to my new updated Bopl ability tier list after the April 26 balance changes. As you guys may know, the developer posted new balance changes 4 days after my last tier list video that were suspiciously close to my ratings about the balancing of abilities. So, finally, after half a month of playtesting and 70 more hours of playtime, this is the May Bopl abilities tier list. This one will be different from the last because I will start at the worst abilities and end with the best ones. Each tier will also be ranked with the abilities on the left being better than the ones on the right. Make sure you stick around to the end because I will also explain the new best ability combos. And finally, remember to comment if you have any questions or new ideas to share. I promise to read and respond to all comments on this video. Okay, let's get started with the worst ability in the game, in my opinion right now. That's Spin Dash. Now there are a lot of problems with this ability, but mostly the biggest problem is that it takes too long to charge up and it can't confirm kills. Usually when you play this ability, you want to connect all the platforms and grow some platforms and make the area that it covers a lot bigger. But when you do this, it makes it easy for your opponents to dodge it. They can just jump over it really easily. Next, we have the engine. So this ability isn't bad, it's just more useless than other abilities. For example, I think push is a lot better than this one. It doesn't give you a lot of control over moving objects. Next we have throw. Now this ability can be good in 2v2s, but when we're doing solos, it's just so bad. It's so slow to pick up the rock, and then when you throw it, it just doesn't go fast enough and it can't confirm kills. Next is invisibility. I just don't think that invisibility is too good because you can track the camera movement and you can track the slime trails. Whenever they're invisible, you can just run away. It's so hard to get close to people with invisibility if they know what they're doing and actually get a kill. Next is smoke. It does have one use of countering beam, kind of. The problem is it just doesn't go fast enough and it doesn't cover enough area for it actually to be too useful. Then we have meteor, and this is the worst out of all of the contact damage ones. At least rock gives immunity and at least drill can go through platforms, but this one is just the worst out of all. Next is Tesla. And I know I'm putting this in the weak tier, but Tesla push is not a good combo, guys. It gets beat by so many things like beam, blink gun, like anything out of those abilities that can change the environment. You can just dash away or block. That's why it's in the weak tier. At the very top of the weak tier. I will give it some credit. Alright, now starting off in the mid tier is the black hole. Whenever you use black hole, it doesn't seem to give you that much benefit other than a single kill at the very best. It's kind of hard to set up where you like push the black hole with beam or something like that. The pull distance is way too close. It definitely needs a buff to be better than this. Next is grapple, and this is one that I lowered a lot from the previous tier list because it's a lot worse than other movement abilities like platform and dash. It's too slow, and the other effect of grappling somebody is not too useful either. So I would always just go with dash or platform over this, but it's not weak. The next ability is shrink, and I put this in the mid tier because it's worse than grow, first of all. Because when you shrink someone, it makes them a lot harder to hit, and it's really hard to get close enough to somebody and actually eat them. If they have dash or bow or anything close range, you actually don't want to attack them because they can always run away and you can leave yourself open if you go aggressive against them. Next is the mine ability, and this mine ability does have some combos. One of them is actually pretty fun. I call it the Minesweeper combo, where you place a bunch of mines on the map and you blink the other Bopls out. they have a chance to get teleported into the mines. Next is Spike, and I put this in the mid tier because why would you want a Spike when you could just have Gust? If they're on the other side of the platform, you can just Gust them into another platform or into the water instead of spiking them. Gust is just a lot better than Spike overall, I think, so it doesn't get anything more than mid tier. Next, I know you guys will be sad to see, but I put Push in mid tier. I just think it's too slow of an ability and it gets countered by Blink. I don't think Push is a good ability overall. I think you can just use Platform and it works a lot better as a defensive ability, and you can still leave the map or do whatever. Again, Push Tesla, that's not a good combo. It gets countered so easily. Next one is Grow, and I think this is a bit better than Shrink because it can be used to squish people on platforms. Also, I think it's better because growing yourself is better than shrinking other Bopls because your explosions become bigger with Grenade or Missile. The next ability is Time Stop, and I put this in mid tier because when you do get it off, it usually guarantees a kill, but it's pretty hard to do that unless they don't have any movement abilities or ways to kill you. And finally in the mid tier I put Rock, and it doesn't get anything more than mid tier because it lasts too long, and once you do get a kill with it you're likely to die because people know the rock timing, or you can just end up falling in the water. One ability that got a huge buff was the teleport ability, because now after you place it down you can teleport to it instantly. This makes it really hard for you to die because once you place it down you basically have immunity, especially when you're inside of it because it'll swap all the projectiles and they'll miss you. So it's become a really good defensive ability, and it basically makes you unkillable if they only have one aggressive ability. Next is the Missile in good because it did get a buff, and I think it's good at countering some campy strategies above the water. Next is Grenade. I put this in good because the projectile can bounce and the explosion is pretty wide. It's a pretty good aggressive ability, but there are better options. Then we have Revive. I think this is a pretty balanced ability overall, because if they don't have any ways to kill you, then it's really good because you can die as much as you want and they won't be able to trap you and kill you. But if they do have something like Bow or Grenade, then they're able to kill you when you respawn. So it's good in some cases and bad in other cases. Next is Drill, and I put this in good because you do have some good plays with it like Dash Drill. I think this is the best melee contact build is Dash Drill. It's better than Dash Meteor and Dash Rock because you can go through platforms and apply pressure a bit easier without the risk of dying like in Rock. And finally in the good tier we have Bow, and this is the best projectile ability in the game. It works so well with Gust. For some reason when you just weak shot an arrow above you, you can just Gust it and it goes flying. This ability combo is just amazing, and I love using it. Starting off in the strong tier, I have Beam, because even after the turn speed nerfs, it's still very good. It's not broken like maybe you could argue Gust or Blink, but it's just very good at applying pressure and area control at longer ranges. Next is Blink, and this ability, I probably should have put it in S tier last time, but it just got even better because of the new buff, I would call it. Basically, whenever you hit someone with Blink, they teleport to a random spot. So you can make some clutch plays, like someone who's dash rocking at you, you can blink them away, or you could even just blink yourself off of the water and teleport out to a safe spot. Also, if someone's camping with block in the corner, you can blink out their block and they have nowhere to go. Or if you're camping with block in the corner and they go over to you with dash, you can blink them out and they're back to the main island in the middle. Now speaking of block or platform, this is next in the strong tier. It's a win condition by itself if you stand in the corner the entire game, wait for overtime, and then when everything starts to fall down, you can just keep high up in the air by replacing it higher and higher. Also, you can get these cheeky kills where they stand right next to you and you spin around and crush them against the wall. You can also use it to defend against dash rocks or dash drills. Just a really good defensive movement ability. Next, we have a pretty broken ability in my opinion. It's the Gust, and this thing will kill you in almost every scenario. It can squish Bopls at so many different angles and deflect projectiles. It's just a very well-rounded ability that can be used aggressively, defensively. If you don't know what to put as your last ability in your build, definitely go with Gust. And finally, the best ability in Bopl battle is Dash. This is the best movement ability in the game because it's instant and the cooldown time is pretty fast. I like to say that every build should have one movement ability out of grapple, dash, and platform, and I think 90% of all the builds could benefit from dash more than the other two. It works so well with all the other abilities that it has to be the best ability in the game. Now onto the best ability combos. So we'll start off with dash, drill, and revive. This build is really good against a lot of defensive builds, like if you're trying to set up time stop or trying to block in the corner. It's very good at range and close range too. When you dash drill, it's pretty fast. The only downside is that it's slower when on moon maps because of the different gravity mechanic. The next best combo in the game, I think, is blink, platform, and beam. With this combo, your objective is to get into the corner of the map above the water and just sit there until overtime. Then when all the platforms fall, you just block up. If they ever try to get over to you, you can use beam and blink to defend yourself. And if they're ever going to pick up a power-up that would stop your strategy, like blink or missile, or anything that can get over to you like block, then you want to blink them out or beam the power up so that they can't pick it up, and this will pretty much confirm you the win. I used this strategy in a Bopl tournament, and so far I've cleared qualifiers and the quarterfinals. And now the best ability combo in Bopl battle, I think, is bow, dash, gust. These abilities work so well together because with dash, bow, you can dash onto somebody and immediately bow them. With bow gust, you can shoot an arrow and then immediately gust it to send it flying. And you can dash to set yourself up for a good gust kill. I hope this tier list and tips can help you guys with your Bopl competitive gameplay. Remember to comment if you have any new ideas about this, or if you have any questions, because I read all of the comments. And because you stayed to the end, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.